Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Idausen Ness here from the Mimic Method, where we teach you how to flow in your target language. And today we're going to talk about the three types of practice because, as I always say, language is not an academic subject to be studied, it is a performance art to be practiced. So, we want you to have quality practice. In fact, this month I'm doing a 3 week coaching clinic with a cohort of group students as well as one on one students we're taking on. And the whole purpose of that whole process is to upgrade the quality of people's practice. In my experience, most language learners are not practicing at all, they're only studying, and therefore they're performing poorly. But if you want to perform well, you need to practice well. So that's what we're going to do here. I'm going to talk to you about the three types of practice and then show you how you're doing that in our new curriculum and our new coaching program that we're doing this month. All right. So, what are those three types? You have solo practice, partner practice, and arena practice. So, we'll start with solo. Solo is about developing your technique. So, I'm going to use analogies to boxing primarily because I just joined a boxing gym last week, so it's fresh in my mind. But when you go into the gym and I'm doing my solo training, there's punching bags there, there's speed bags there. So it's me by myself, maybe with an abject or just shadow boxing. And really, I'm just trying to drill in my technique. The purpose of solo practice in any field is to get the muscle memory, to get the just the fundamental movements so deeply ingrained within you that it can just happen automatically. And therefore, I can use my attention and my brain energy to focus on other things. So I need to throw that jab or that cross or that whatever 100 times or 1,000 times, 10,000 times until I just have it in me. And it's not just drilling it, but also really figuring out the details of the technique. What am I getting wrong, right? So taking that to language learning, the most basic technical piece is also physical. It's our pronunciation. You guys already know me for that. That's what my method is most known for. And so in our training, we show you what those movements are, how to hear and how to produce those sounds for your target language, what all the phonemes, aka vowels and consonants, are in isolation, and then also how to pronounce them um, in combination. So putting them into words, into phrases, learning a skill called segmenting, combining them into syllables, doing rhymes, all that kind of good stuff. So that's all in our curriculum. With this new coaching clinic I'm holding this month, I'm going to combine it with some rhythmic training and call and response training. So this is a course I made a while back, kind of giving you the fundamentals of rhythm, like musical rhythm, which is very useful for kind of cross training your language ability for reasons I won't get into now. But basically, the better you are at musical rhythm, the easier time you'll have mimicking any language. So we'll kind of give you the basics here. And then when we do our trainings, the live trainings with people in the coaching clinic, we'll be doing what's called flow walks. It's May time here in East Coast, beautiful weather. So I'm going to get out there a couple times a week and then take a walk. And you're going to do this kind of call and response. It looks like this.
4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 8, 2, 8, 3, 8, 4, 8.
1, 8, 2, 8, 3, 8, 4, 8.
1, 8, 2, 8, 3, 8, 4, 8.
1, 8, 2, 8, 3, 8, 4, 8.
1, 8, 2, 3, 8, 4, 8.
1, 8, 2, 3, 8, 4, 8.
All right, so it kind of goes on like this,
3, 8,
and
4, 8.
so you can do it marching in your room. You can take a walk outside, put your headphones in, but we'll be doing this rhythmic training, but then we'll be mixing it with the pronunciation training for your target language. So say you're taking French, for example, and you want to practice those rounded and nasal vowels. So and on. Instead of it 1, 2, 3, 4, it might be like bon, fond, long, son, bon, fond, long, son, bon, fond, long, son, right? And this kind of musical call and response thing I find gets people deep into a flow state. They stop overthinking things and it really kind of just layers their foundational technical ability to hear and pronounce these different sounds. and it's super fun. So I hope you join just for that because that'll be fun itself. But really, this clinic is going to be focusing more on the conversational element. We'll have our live training sessions for pronunciation, but the other type of session we'll be doing is for conjugation, the kind of essence of grammar in these Romance languages. So that is the new thing that we've developed a whole new library of content for. The grammar flow trainers. So what I did is for each of these languages, I made a progression from the most basic and commonly used conjugation pattern all the way to the most advanced and most and least commonly used. And so present tense, of course, is where you start. And in the Romance languages like Spanish and French, you have what they call regular verbs, which is to say that the pattern for conjugating the verb is the same for all the words of that type. But then what really gets difficult for people is the irregular patterns. Now, when you study a language, then you start to learn the explicit rules of things. You're kind of like, oh, stem changing, AR, drop this, divide by pi, blah, blah, blah. And that stuff actually is counterproductive for most people because it causes you to get stuck in your head. So what we do instead is we just show you the pattern, and then we present you these audio files for you to practice. And
Yo quiero.
and these audio files are based around this thing called the argument game, which I won't get too deep into the whole structure of it here, but essentially you're practicing an interaction with someone in your partner practice, and you're playing this game where one person's like, I eat cheese. You eat cheese? No, you don't eat cheese. We eat cheese. We eat cheese? No, we don't eat cheese. We eat hamburgers, right? And you're going back and forth with your partner on this type of training. But in Spanish or in French or Portuguese or whatever, then you are now practicing your conjugations as well. So instead of it being you studying the conjugations or just playing it into your smartphone outside of context, now you're in a live interaction, and then you're responding to what the person is giving you. So in a partner practice, it's all about getting that live response and then making it as smooth as possible. So the solo training that we've created, these audio trainers, will help you practice and drill, learn the new words, learn the conjugations, and then just get your repetitions in so that's in you. Then the partner practice, you come and you'll be matched up with a partner. We'll have practice meetups where you can meet with people and just practice and drill these things. And then the final piece of that then is when it comes to your ability in a language, people tend to focus exclusively on the knowledge aspect. Like, do I know the vocab? Do I know the grammars? But what is more fundamental to your just kind of knowledge is your performance, is your delivery of the knowledge you already know. So there are many things that people do when they speak, such as stuttering or twitching or stammering or looking up and looking around. And all these things are massive inhibitors to your capacity to express yourself, to understand and communicate and connect with people in conversation. So each person has their own unique profile of what I call flow blockers, things that block their ability to flow in that language. What you then do in your arena practice, the arena is the real world experience where you're out there just talking to people, having a normal conversation. What you do is that you have that conversation and then you pay attention to what's blocking you, what your gaps of knowledge are, what is difficult, where your flaws and weaknesses are. Then you take that knowledge and you say, okay, I need to work on my smoothness of delivery. So let me now, in my partner practice, do this back and forth in these different games we've created, but focus on speaking super slow. Do what we call speech modulations, different ways of speaking that allow you to control your delivery more. So now you're like, you eat cheeseburger, tú comes hamburguesa con queso. This speaking soft and slow and silent, calming your nervous system, getting those basics in. This allows you to, in the safety of a partner practice environment, develop that fundamental delivery skill. And then again, in your solo practice, you might say, okay, cool, I can do this calm speaking now, but when I come into speaking in the present tense, or sorry, the past tense, then I start running into problems because I don't really know these tenses that well. So let me come here in my solo practice and then practice, this reaction in that context.
Yo traduje.
¿Tú tradujiste? No, tú no tradujiste.
Yo traduje.
¿Tú tradujiste? No, tú no tradujiste.
So solo and partner practice is all about getting reps in on a specific thing until it's automatic. And then the arena practice, you can't control the environment, so you're just responding to what it is and then surfacing what things you need to practice with repetition in your solo and partner practice. So in the conjugation training live sessions we'll be doing, I will just be going through these things for the specific language. I'll be going through these drills with people live to show you how to do it. We'll do it all together. And then that way you know how to do it, because having the audio here is one thing, but the way to do it is super important. Being able to use your whole body, being able to imagine yourself in the situation. There's a proper way to solo practice, which most people don't know about. So that's the whole point. In the coaching clinic, if you decide to join us for that, you see it's 3 weeks from May 11th to June 1st, and there'll be 12 pronunciation practice sessions. So basically 4 times a week, I'll be doing these little 30-minute flow walks and little workshops, kind of drilling people, maybe give some feedback to people when they have questions. Then 12 conjugation practice sessions. That's me going through and going over these things per request from whoever's in the audience. We just drill it together and go through and get the reps in until it's automatic and muscle memory. And then also twice a week, we'll have conversation practice meetups. So we'll partner people together. I might have a few native speakers in the mix just to help out. And you will do these different drills, do these different speech modulations that I talk about, and just practice now with your partner to get these things going. And then it'll be up to you then to go into the real world and have conversation. Or if you're doing one-on-one with us, I'll have a native speaker for you to practice with. But I will, in any case, discuss with you the process of analyzing your performance, understanding what your flow blockers are, what the flow boosters are, and how to integrate them into your conversation and speech patterns. And that's the kind of stuff we get into in these longer seminar discussions, which we'll have once per week. I have one at the beginning and then one at the end as well, so 4 total. And also in the program, there will be a forum for you to ask questions. I'll be checking that every day, answering questions. Also, there'll be exercises for you to record yourself doing your solo practice or doing your partner practice with somebody, and then just sending that in. There's not like a strict homework and pass fail or any of that kind of stuff. It's just some basic structure for you to work within to apply these different techniques and principles and make sense of it, right? Because it's one thing to understand the theory of how to practice, but ultimately you need to do the practice. There's a lot of details and nuance to it when you get into it. So that's what we'll be discussing. That's what we'll be going over in the program. That's what we'll be doing together. So by the end of the program, you will no longer just be someone who's running away from conversation practice. You won't be someone who's just wasting time and being counterproductive and just studying and filling your brain with a bunch of thoughts and ideas that's going to interfere with your flow when you actually are in conversation. No more of that studyable BS. You're going to learn how to have quality practice. You're going to develop quality practice, and you can develop a framework that'll help you to increase the quality of your practice so that the quality of your performance, aka your ability to flow with people in conversation, the people you want to connect with, whether you have loved ones who speak the target language or you're traveling somewhere or it's relevant to your work, whatever your real world arena is, we're going to talk about how you can get more out of that and flow better. All right. So if that is exciting to you, then I recommend that you join us for this 3-week coaching clinic. We close registration on Friday. We're doing it for people learning Spanish, French, and Italian. Later on, maybe we'll have other languages, but right now we're just focusing on these. If you have any questions, feel free to comment or send me an email. Just make sure you do so before the end of the day Friday, because I'm closing registration. And then all the people who signed up, I'm going to get you guys onboarded this Saturday. And then Sunday, we do our first seminar and get flowing. All right. Thank you for watching. I hope you can come flow with us.